Let the telephone ring. It's about to get physical. The coaching staff and me on a late night creep. What in the world, boss? Your boy Big Low Country. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just old country boy, former football coach that loves to sit around and talk about sports. Yes, you yourself could have been anywhere in the world tonight here at 11:25 p.m., but you're here with us, and we definitely and greatly appreciate it. First of all, if you're watching the show after we go live already, make sure you put a what in the world bowl in the comments. Second of all, make sure you share the channel with your friends and family, and hit that like button for me. If you hit that like button, I promise you, I'll dance at your wedding one day. But you know what? I'm already dancing. I'm already dancing, but why? We got us a defense. The Atlanta Falcons have a pass rush. If you don't believe me, just watch. The Atlanta Falcons have a pass rush, bro. Goodness gracious. Now, first of all, before we jump into it, our prayers are with the young man that sustained the injury at the game. At the game, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know, the extent of the injury. We just knew that the ambulance came out. Um, and and we just seen the clock running and everything. So we didn't know the extent of the injuries. So to Norris, look, I heard on the way coming back home that they said that he's awake, he's talking, he can move his extremities and everything. But Bo, prayers to you, y'all. I know I say this all the time. If you've never been around it, football is a dangerous sport, y'all. But bro, whenever I say it's one of the most gruesome things that you could ever come across, and whenever I say, and for all the former football players that are watching, or the current football players that are watching, you got to be crazy. You got to be thrown off a little bit to play this sport. Football is a dangerous sport. So prayers to the young man. I'm glad that he's awake. I'm glad that he could talk, and he's still with us and he's moving. But well, yeah, you got to be careful. So we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons playing the starters and not playing the starters. We're going to talk about how the offense looked with Easton Stick. We're going to talk about this defense. Goodness gracious, Bo. We got a doggone defense. Bro, did you see them boys? First of all, got to show love to everybody showing love to us. Shouts out to John Brooks in here. He says, Big Low, what in the world, Bo? Hitman Hellams and Dylan Drummond and Natron Brooks and Nick Nash balled out tonight. Our D-line cooked tonight. Hello. Yes, sir. These are looking crazy. They're like, oh, man, I don't know what to do. What's the kid's first name? Shuck. Shuck, man, I don't know if Shuck is going to be shucking and jiving back there behind that offensive line, because it looks like it's going to be some hard times. Stephen West is in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with Stephen West? Hope you're doing good tonight, fam. Brian Moses says, what's up? 3-yeet. If you got a defense and you want to see what's up, 3-yeet. What's going on with you, Bo? It's organic. What in the world, Bo? Telvin Phelps. I want to say Telvin Campbell. But Telvin Phelps is in here dancing. He's crunk. Antoine Banks is in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on, man? Yes, Hitman stole some cookies tonight. Yes. Southside Rick is in here. What's going on, Bo? Hope you're doing good tonight. Doug said that chain fight. I appreciate that, man. Got a few compliments on the chain. Shouts out to the Atlanta Falcons for sending the chains out, Bo, before the first preseason game. We got Auntie Joy in here. Shouts out to Auntie Joy all over the Halo board as usual. Shouts out to you. Brandon Little's in here. What in the world, Bo? Elite Goods. Much love, much love. Barbara Riley says, yes, prayers to the young man. God keep him safe, and all the players in the NFL, everybody who's playing football or any sports, definitely. Joy said, man, I was happy and I was lit. Yes. Shouts out to Uncle Lou. Shouts out to you, Uncle Lou. Says, rise up. Hope you're doing good tonight, fam. Yeah, we on fire. CJ Hills is here. You already know what time it is. So Look at here. Rick said he got his cup. Ricky was in your cup. It's in your cup. It might be water. It might be moonshine. But if we see you smiling, that just means we're happy to see you. You see what I'm sipping on? I'm sipping on the Brazil. Brazil, they ain't paying me no money. But I'm sipping on the Brazil tonight. If you ain't never had one of these, make sure you get you one. It's hard to find them. They're at certain gas stations, but they do be hitting. I had to get one special for Coach Ron. That's why I'm on so late. I apologize for coming on so late, y'all. Y'all know how that traffic is leaving from the bins. Y'all know it be crazy. The GPS says go right, but you got a police officer in the street saying, I'm like, look, I just want to go. You're like, no, go this way. You better go this way. So I had to go that way. Then I had to go all around here, all around there. Almost got out the truck, fought a couple people a couple times, but we're here. We done made it back home. Bo, this Atlanta Falcons defense, for the first time, in the words of Stevie Wonder and short story, if you ever watch Quantum Leap, there was this episode where this lady, they said she could sing, like, oh my goodness, Betty, she could sing so much. And then whenever she actually did get a chance to sing, she sung Stevie Wonder for Once in My Life. And in mine and Coach Ronnie's opinion, it was terrible. For once in my life, I found someone who loved me. Nah, it should have been for once in my life. That's how I felt tonight, Bo. For once in my life, I had more fun watching the defense than I had watching the offense. Once again, watching an Atlanta Falcons game. For once in my life, I had more fun watching the defense than I had watching the offense. If you agree with me, if you had more fun watching the defense tonight than you had watching the offense, put a 1 in the chat. If it's a situation where you like watching Easton Stick, who look pretty doggone good, or you like watching Emory Jones, put a 2 in the chat. We also got our first Superman chat of the night. Shouts out Carrie, says, what in the world, Bo? Prayers up to Norris. Yes, 2 words, Hitman Hellams. Says, we got a defense and a pass rush. Can't wait to see the ones. Hello. Da-da-da. That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to you, Carrie. Hope you're doing good tonight. Now, whenever we talk about and whenever we evaluate or go through this coaches meeting with this talking about this defense, one thing that we got to consider, guys, and you're going to have the people who are saying, hey, y'all are overreacting, the same way you had the people who said, hey, everybody's getting hype about training camp. It's just training camp. Y'all are overreacting. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to call it what it is, Bo. It's Boulder Dash. It's horse feathers. For people who say y'all are overreacting about training camp or y'all overreacting about the preseason, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it for the people who don't want to say it. If you feel like it's not a big deal, you just don't know football. I'm just going to call it what it is. You just don't know football. If you say, I don't know why everybody's getting all hype and everything about what James Pierce doing, anybody who knows football with 2 eyes could go out there and see, James Pierce looking like he's going to be serious. It translated to the field tonight. James Pierce went out there and he was serious. He got like 3 or 4 pressures. He almost had 2 sacks. And there was a couple of times where they ran the ball away from him and he still almost got the tackle. It got to the point where in the second or third drive, they started chipping him and double teaming him with a tight end because he was affecting the game so much. We saw this in training camp. Shouts out to my homeboy Tyler Russell. Tyler, hope you're doing good tonight. Hope you're keeping Coach Christine on the ground, because I know Coach Christine out there getting crunk. I already know it. You know she's been wanting the defense for a long time. Once again, y'all, I apologize for coming on so late. But for the people that's on here with us, we finna have a good time tonight. We look, the Falcons brought the energy. We bringing the energy tonight. Shouts out to the Atlanta Falcons, everybody at the stadium showing love. Everybody, look, it's like Mercedes-Benz Stadium hadn't missed a beat. It's almost like they did a game last week or something. It feels like it's one of those cases where everybody's ready for the season. So shouts out to the safe team. Shouts out to all the executives and everybody that we had a chance to see Great time. Jay Beaton says, what in the world, Bo? Defense going to be serious. Say that one more time for the people in the back, Jay. Defense going to be serious. Brandon's in here, says, what in the world, Bo? It's organic. Brandon, Ricky Smith, Brent Sorley. Goodness gracious. Do we have the first unanimous vote? Stephen West, Richard Drake, Brian Moses, CJ Hill, Tanisha, Southside Ricky, Dex Diggs. Wait a minute. Wesley Cody. Everybody saying that they think it's a situation where they have more fun watching the defense than the offense. Whoa, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun watching a third down and saying, hey, we actually got a chance to get off the field. It was fun. Jamil's in here, says, what in the world, Bo? Says the defense saved. Lord have mercy. Oh. It was literally one of those situations when I watched, and whenever we got in the red zone or whenever we were approaching the red zone, I would just go ahead and chalk that up mentally, saying, hey, okay, well, look, this is where we're at. So I guess, we can see what this offense is working on, or maybe, the football gods will look down, favorably upon us and somebody will fumble or something, right? They'll just be running to the end zone and they'll just drop the ball, or maybe their arm will go numb and they just forget, they can't feel the ball. So I don't know. But in this game tonight, and of course we got to mention the variables. So in this game tonight, we saw a team that was actually trying to stop the team across from them. Mind you, last year, whenever we watched the defense, it's kind of like I said in my post game video. I mean, Jimmy Lake was literally saying, hey, it's almost like he was saying whenever he was sending the defense out, it was almost like he looked at Raheem and said, I mean, are we really trying to play defense, coach? I mean, maybe we should play it safe and really try to start playing defense once we get in the red zone. But I mean, these other 80 yards, I mean, why should we really stop them? I mean, I'm looking at your offense. They look like they need a rest anyway. Should we really try to do this? Nah, Jeff Holbrook, attacking style defense, 3-4, 4-3. And the crazy thing is we didn't blitz that much. 4-man pressures, which is what you actually want. You want to see what your team is looking like as far as rushing the passer with 4. Oh, we got it done. We got it done. Padres in here. Padre says AK was out there like a pit bull after the mailman. Goodness gracious. Daggone. Auntie Joy says, I'm excited about being on the field. I get excited about it being yes, I completely agree. Carrie says, let's go, Joy. Defense look good. I loved it. Yes, you're definitely right. Both of you ladies are right. ATL Focus in here says, if we had a little more push in the middle, JPJ would have had blood in his mouth. Big love. Goodness gracious, boy. You okay, you getting violent. Goodness. Yeah, that man would have had blood in his mouth. Goodness. Daggone. So we got a few more comments. Oh man, Southside Rick said defensive rookie of the year. Goodness gracious. Rick Smith says body bag them. I told them it was pretty good old. Look here, and the crazy thing is, and shouts out to Doug and Jamil for saying that they feel like the defense, it was more fun watching the defense opposed to watching the offense. The crazy thing is that we got to take a few things into consideration. First, number one, we got to consider the Detroit Lions are operating with a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator, right? Now, mind you, they did get a little bit more run in the preseason because they did play in the Hall of Fame game and they looked terribly there too. So maybe it's one of those cases where the coaching for the Detroit Lions is taking a step back. That's one thing that we might have to consider, guys. We may seriously have to consider that. Number two, another thing that you have to consider is, you got a defense with a new defensive coordinator that, he may have came from the Jets and, put a few extra wrinkles out there and, moving forward, it was one of them situations where, it kind of caught Detroit with their pants down. That's something else that you got to consider. Number 3, a lot of people that played in that first half are fringe starters, right? That's something that we also got to keep in mind. Billy Bowman, he's a fringe starter. James Pierce Jr., he's a fringe starter. I'm be honest with you. I mean, James Pierce Jr. look like he ready to go. Jalen Walker, he's a fringe starter. Ruka Rororo, fringe starter. Fuller, fringe starter. DeMarco Hellams looked like he should be a fringe starter. But thing that you got to consider, on the other side of the ball, it wasn't too many starters playing on offense on the other side of the ball. So we got to look at the talent levels. That's something else that we got to consider. But I will tell you, if anybody ever says, hey, training camp and preseason is a situation where y'all are getting too hyped about training camp and preseason, there's someone who they don't know how to critically look at football. If they're the people that say, oh, it's just one of those situations where I just need to see it during the season, they don't know nothing about football. They're reactors. Let's be honest. They're reactors. We also got a couple Superman chats. Tanisha in here says that I was so pleased with Dorlus. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious, flying around the field. And Pierce tonight. Our rookie came through. Yes. Dorlus was active. James Pierce, active. Like I said, they started chipping them and double teaming them over there on the even side because he was just getting too much pressure. He was affecting the game way too much. Shouts out to Quentin Lavender on Facebook. Said they both look good. Also, Dixon Wade, Larry's in here. Shouts out to my homeboy Larry. I got a chance to catch him at the game. Much love to you, Larry, Sean, and the rest of the family. Terry Ocean Boy Martin, what in the world, Bo? Hope you're doing good tonight. Also got Blackberry in here with the home team. Came in here, says home team. Coach Padre with another Superman chat says, AK flying around. Billy Bowman out there swole. Shouts out to Billy Bowman. I met his dad before the game, Bo. I mean, Billy Bowman dad is huge. He's bigger than me. I don't know how many people met me. People say I'm a big guy. Billy Bowman's dad is huge. Just engulf my hand. Anyway, he said, Hellams look like he auditioning for the next Aliens movie. Goodness gracious. Obrick put some gunpowder in them boys pre-workout. Hello, I hang up and listen. Da-da-da! That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to my homeboy Padre, man. Can't wait to watch the game with you and Coach Ashley next week. But yes, I definitely agree with all of those statements. This defense is perfect for DeMarco Hellams. Now, I put a tweet out during the game that said DeMarco Hellams just knocked the sonic rings out of a player for the Detroit Lions. I mean, I whenever you hit them, you see him. I mean, I'm like, but y'all better run and pick up those sonic rings. As a matter of fact, when the boy got up, he started checking his pockets because I heard him ask somebody, "Hey man, I had $20 in my pockets. You seen it?" He knocked the money out of his pockets. Padre said, "Hey, is DeMarco Hellams Kamal Ishmael 2.0? If y'all don't remember Kamal Ishmael, he was a safety that they end up moving to linebacker because, I mean, look, he was popping and he was hitting. The pass was popping. But he was asking, is he Ishmael 2.0? I feel like he plays in the secondary a little bit better than Kamal Ishmael. But one thing that I do know is that he has a hit first mentality. Because one time he had a chance to get a pick, but he wasn't even worried about picking it off. He was just worried about popping. He was trying to run through that boy. I feel sorry for him. That's what teams are going to have to deal with this year whenever they play the Atlanta Falcons. Shouts out to my homeboy Yuri. Had a chance to see Yuri at the game. Much love to you, Bo. Let's see. Yes, momentum is a real thing, Blackberry. You ain't never lied, Bo. Mike Hill. Shouts out to my homeboy Mike, man. Hey, man, I hope Shannon's okay too, bro. You get a chance, text me, let me know how she's doing. He says, what in the world, Bo? Packers win the North. Lions with the down year after all them coaching changes. Look, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Because I'm hearing a whole bunch of crazy things about Golden. They saying Golden is golden up there in Green Bay. So it might be a passing of the torch, man. The dog vault says y'all still trash. Get that hate out your heart. See what you need to do. You need to go to the doctor. First, you know what? First, you need to go on Google and search your symptoms. Because we know whenever you search your symptoms on Google, it gives you the whole doom and gloom, like, oh man, you dying in 5 minutes kind of thing. Then after you start panicking, you need to go to the doctor, go to that first checkup, and then go see a specialist after that. Make sure your insurance is good. After that, go get the MRIs and everything. Schedule the surgery. Don't eat nothing the night before. Don't eat nothing the night before. Have the surgery and get that hate out your heart. That's what you need to do. Talk about we still trash. Season ain't even started yet. Kind of folks trash already. You're in here says Ulbrich has the defense moving around like some dogs. Bo. This defense reminds me a whole lot of 2016, whenever you had all them rookies flying around the field. You had all them rookies flying around. It reminds me a whole bunch of Rasheed Hageman. It reminds me a whole bunch of Brian Poole, Jalen Collins, Deion Jones, Foye Oluwakin, a second-year Grady Jarrett. It reminds me a whole bunch of it, Bo. And I'm finna say something. It might rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I apologize. If I do rub people the wrong way, I know the season hadn't started, but I said this after they let Grady go. Y'all gonna look back and y'all gonna be like, I mean, it ain't that bad without Grady. I'm just saying, because TaQuan Graham was getting back there, got him a sack. Rukaroro was getting back there. Brandon Dorlus was getting back there. I'm just saying. There's something to it. Jason Wade says our young guys on defense look good. The offense was full of guys that won't make the team outside of Chris Blair, who was the offensive player of the game, in my opinion. I'm glad you mentioned that. Say you're the God. You are. Look. What's Easton Stick's stat line, guys? I seen some people online saying Easton Stick was trash after the first couple of possessions. Mind you, I know he had like 40 yards, like 48 yards in the first quarter. Crazy thing is that if that running back would have caught that pass on that wheel route, he would have been at 100 yards starting the second quarter. But after the first half of play, Easton Stick, wow, that's crazy. 15 of 18, 149 yards, and 1 touchdown. Passer rating of 119. That ain't that bad. Now, with that being said, and mind you, I ain't jumping off the wagon so much to be like Easton Stick is the guy, but one of the main reasons why we picked up Easton Stick is because him and Zach Robinson have a relationship. He knows the offense. And I'm pretty sure Zach Robinson wanted to help his boy out by giving him an opportunity to get some shine, in front of some NFL teams. But if Easton Stick plays like this, come on, Tyler, 15-2 already? Daggone. Shouts out to my homegirl, Dreesy Brownlee. Much love to you. She hit me up on Instagram like, hey, coach is meeting tonight, right? I was like, it ain't too late. Like, I don't want to keep y'all up. And, I mean, y'all ain't going to be doing no yard work on Saturday or nothing. She was like, nah, let's go, lock and load. But if Easton Stick plays like this, I mean, do you really need Kirk Cousins? I'm just saying, is it a situation where you really need him? I'm just putting that out there. I'm just putting that out there. What's going on, Rounds? Much love to you, man. JB versus the world. Shouts out to my big bro, man. Says Hitman Hellams was wired tonight. Yes, he was. Yes, Stick was dealing, bro. Stick was dealing. He didn't get beat with an ugly stick tonight. He was balling out. Yeah, Padre says 119. What? Look, bro, the thing that I'm saying, what I'm saying is that, and another thing that you got to consider is that, let's be honest, those first couple of possessions, that offensive line was shaky. Like that's something we got to acknowledge. That man was running for his life those first couple of possessions. If it would have been a situation where he had that first team offensive line, yeah, you might have had 7 to 10 more points on the board. Just keeping it a book. Shouts out to Coach Christie in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on, Coach Christie? Hope you're doing good tonight, family. King says, nah, he tripping. Coach Christie also says that Easton made Ritter and Mariota look amateur. Hey, Coach, you said it. I didn't. I don't talk bad about Desmond Ritter. All I know is that about a month ago, I ordered a lettuce wrap from DoorDash, right? If you ain't never got one of those cheeseburgers from Five Guys wrapped in lettuce, you need to try it. Get that bacon cheeseburger, but instead of getting the bun, get it in lettuce. So I got it delivered to me, and I was like, they run the doorbell, Shaka Khan, that's my dog. She went crazy like she always does. I went to the door, and the bag was halfway open. I was like, what in the world? I reached in the bag, and somebody had ate most of my burger. I said, what in the world? All of a sudden, I heard somebody from the row saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Coach Lowe, but it smells so good, and I was so hungry." It was Desmond Ritter. He ate like 3/4 of the burger. I'm like, what in the world, Bo? Come on, Des. Mind you, shouts out to Des. He's in Cincinnati now. But in early July, he was eating my DoorDash order. So somebody need to get Des. I don't know what's going on with him. Ricky said, oh, man. Quentin Lavender says all quarterbacks look better than Kirk. Come on, Rick. Come on, man. Come on, Quentin. You can't really say that, man. The man was hurt. Was he lying about it? Yes, but the man was hurt. John Brooks says, Big Low. There's an update on Norris. He is stable condition with all the feeling in his extremities. He is alert and talking. He'll be staying at Grady Hospital overnight for observation. Okay, that is great news. That is great news because I was there. Once I got in the truck and I talked to Coach Roney, Coach Roney was like, "Yeah, they said that young man was hurt up pretty bad." The crazy thing is, I didn't see what happened because I was up top, talking to some of the Falcons fans and taking pictures and stuff. But yeah, she said it was a pretty tough scene whenever it came to it. So yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm just glad that the young man is, up and alert and everything. Bro, I done seen some crazy things. When it comes to taking those hits on the football field and people's bodies getting contorted all types of ways, and body parts and fingers going in different directions. Y'all see how my fingers looking. Yeah, I mean, and y'all done seen, the Raheem Morris fingers. Raheem Morris, he out there talking. Man, I remember I used to be able to do it. I can't. Which finger was it? Was it that finger? One of these fingers I broke back in. I can't remember. But fact of the matter is that it's a violent sport, right? I know a lot of people are saying that after what we saw happen tonight, the Falcons definitely aren't playing, the Michael Penixes and the Bijan Robinsons and Drake Londons of the world. I guess I'm a little bit more desensitized to it than other people because I've been around the sport so much. And I kind of have this saying when it comes to injuries, and it excuse me, my apologies, y'all. I didn't mean to burp in your ear, but it might sound cruel when I say this, but unfortunately, when it's your time, it's your time. And, injuries, especially structural injuries, when it's your time, it's your time. If you ever look back at the course of a season, everybody's talking about all these players who are going through these season-ending injuries. The big catastrophic injuries, they always happen at the beginning of the season and they happen at the end of the season. They happen at the beginning of the season where you're not, when you're, and shouts out to the coaches at South Carolina who taught me this. And this is something I do every day. whenever your relationship with the ground isn't good, right? As a baby, you spend your time on the ground. You learn how to fall and everything like that. Yes, these guys have been playing football for the last 15 years. But if you haven't been playing football for the last 6 months and you just started, going again in training camp, I don't care what nobody says. A game is completely different from a padded practice. A game is completely different from a scrimmage. You get out there, it's completely different. Your body's getting used to it. The best way to get ready to play football is to play football, and you don't got to do it much. I ain't saying that he needs to go out there and play like as much as Easton Stick did or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, when it's your time, it's your time. And I know it sounds cold, but it's true. Body Bagel says, "I thought you were finna cry." Nah, I wasn't finna cry. I wasn't finna cry. Darren Hughes in here. What in the world, Bo? Hope you're doing good tonight, man. Shouts out to my homeboy. Let's see, where is he at? Shouts out to my homeboy Avian. You reposted the stream on Twitter. Y'all make sure y'all check my homeboy out on Twitter. Making content. I think he also has a YouTube channel as well. Putting out some good film study. It's good to hear somebody like actually, take deep dives into it and kind of give their perspective on it. So shouts out to Avian, man. Cellular Lopez is in here. Says we need a nickel cornerback. Says I'm not dealing with D Alford again. Bowman can't play all game. Look, I completely agree with you. Now, look, whenever whenever that touchdown was given up, there's a phrase, D Alford got caught in the scissors. They ran an early crosser, and D Alford was supposed to stay out there on that outside man, but he bit inside and he got caught up in the scissors, and he gave up that touchdown. But moving forward, hopefully it's something that Coach Gray, Coach Raheem, Coach Jeff could coach him up on. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Blackberry says, "Man, I saw him season. Glad he's okay." I heard he was seasoned up and everything, bro. Like I said, man, I hate to see it, but like you said, I'm definitely glad he's okay. Conrad Vassal's in here. Says, "What in the world, Bo? Crazy game. Glad he's stable now." Yes, I am too, Bo. I am too. Coach Christie says, "Are the low tackles better than what the NFL thinks it is?" So that they got different types of tackling styles, Coach Christie. So they got the rugby style tackling where they ask for you to go hip high and grab the legs and then roll. They got the high cloth tackling, which is the way I was taught to tackle, and the way that I taught my guys to tackle whenever I was coaching high school ball, where you match frames, you chop your feet, you basically chest bump them, grab that the high cloth on their back, and then drive your feet. That's that's a whole lot easier said than done. And they got these young Thundercats, they crash out. They like the ankle bite. You'll see these young Thundercats. They'll come up, eyes get big, and then they'll just drop down. Try to take them ankles out, especially when it's a bigger runner. But they got a whole bunch of different types of tackles. But it's kind of what it's kind of what the coach's preference is. But either way that you do it, you got to be safe about it. That's the thing. But it's hard to protect yourself whenever you're playing a game where you have potential to make millions of dollars and take care of your family for the foreseeable future. Eugene Hunt says, "Bo, man, we ready." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blackberry says, "You can prepare for game day, but the only thing is that gets ready for game day is game day." Exactly. The only way to prepare to play football is to play football. That's I don't know. And a lot of people are saying, "Hey, I'll risk being rusty," But one thing that we got to remember is that, this sport, NFL nowadays, one thing that they're going to make sure it's going to be protected is the quarterback. Tom Brady made sure of that. So, look, I know I'm excited about. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm excited about the whole team. Um, One thing that a lot of people complained about last year that a lot of people are forgetting about is Zach Robinson. Last year, Zach Robinson, he got a lot of criticism. People said his situational play calling wasn't good. People said that he couldn't. Uh, People said that if the game kind of got out of control or we couldn't move the ball, we got a little stuck. I think I'm not bad at what this offense is looking like. It's looking a whole lot more like that Washington offense that Coach Caleb DeBoer had, and that he was running also last year in Alabama, where you got a whole lot more side to side motion, but you always had that guy that's clearing everything out, mainly to the field side. So that's definitely a good thing and a big deal. Okay. Um, yes, Blackberry. Face mask to chest, shoulder square, low hips, shoot your hips. If you ever been to a football practice, you've heard coach say shoot your hips. That's why we do power cleans. And what Blackberry is talking about is he's talking about the way a lot of people are taught to tackle. You know, shoot your hips, match the frames up, face mask to chest, and like I said, he taught us to grab that high cloth in the back. You want you to grab their nameplate on the back and drive your feet. And if you do that, you're gonna get a tackle almost every time. Now, if you just in a situation where I hate to say it, he's just more of a man than you are, you're gonna look crazy. He's gonna run you over, put his foot in your chest, and it's GG's. Also, Blackberry said hit that like button. If you could do a country boy a favor, make sure that you hit that like button. If you hit that like button for me, I promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. Definitely make sure that y'all hit that like button, man. We definitely uh love to be uh love for that like button to get hit. So as y'all know, the coaching staff is one of those cases where this is a community, right? We talk about um whenever we have these coaches meetings, we talk about how things are looking, and we talk about overall. We have collective opinions. It's a sense of community, right? And one way to show that sense of community is by hitting that like button, man. Y'all hit that like button. Like I said, we love it, and I promise you, I'll dance at your wedding one day if you do that for us. Lenny Leg. All right, let's let's go ahead and talk about the whole kicking situation. Let's go ahead and consider that. Lenny Leg, or formerly known as Lenny Craig. I apologize. Y'all call him Lenny Craig at training camp. I dubbed him the name Lenny Leg. So Lenny Leg booted a 57-yard field goal. I was right there because our seats are right there at the end zone. He had 10 more yards, guys. He had 10 more yards easily. Moving forward, he had a 51-yard field goal. He hooked it. As far as this whole kicking competition, which way are y'all leaning? Because they're putting out the numbers every day. They'll kick 5 field goals, and Lenny Leg, he'll make 5, and Cool will make 4. And then the next day, Lenny Leg will make 4, and Cool will make 5. Which way are we leaning? Are y'all thinking that it's one of them situations where we might need to go ahead and switch things up? You think it's time to hit them with the switch up? Or do you think we need to go ahead and stay true with what we got? If you feel like we need to stick with what we got with Cool, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's time to move on, and like Maya said, I'll be moving on. Moving on to Lenny Leg, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Dixon West said Lenny Leg. Now look here, I ain't hip and cool like y'all, so I don't know what FTW mean. You might have to explain that to me. I'm still trying to get cool. I just learned what the huzz mean. If y'all, y'all young Thundercats out there, I just learned, what the huzz mean. And then I learned that instead of saying bet, nowadays they say Betty. So I was chopping it up in my golf chat the other day, and I was like, yeah, I should be good for Sunday. Old boy was like, okay, yeah, Betty. I was like, Betty who? Betty White? I didn't know who you talking about. So, I don't know what FTW means, Larry. You cooler and more hip than me. Uh Derek Hughes says, I think Cool is a starter, but Craig is right there. Okay, okay, okay. Um Eugene Hunt, Ricky Smith, rounds one. Derek Hughes, they say one. They say they want to stick it out with Cool. Tyler Russell says, I think Cool is a cap hit. Yeah, I think what is it, like six? Is it 6 or 6 million or something like that? I don't know if they'll have a dead. I don't know what the dead cap hit's looking like. It's organic. Southside Ricky. They all say one. They feel like it's one of those situations where they want to stick it out with Cool. Also, could somebody in the chat let me know what the like button is looking like? If y'all could, let me know what the like button is looking like. I promise you, I'll dance at your wedding one day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know we always try to get at least 100 by the time we shut it down. Dixon Way, my homeboy Nando, OG Tony, Jermaine Jonikin, they say two. They say, hey man, let's go ahead and hit him with the switch up. JB versus the world says one. He says, hey man, just chill out on Cool. Chill out on Cool. King Seven says it's too soon to tell. Okay. Dreesy says two. Tyler Russell says two, maybe. Okay. Antonio Banks said, hey man, just stick it out with Cool. Why are you trying to give Cool such a hard time? Trevino Beasley says, what's up, coach? What do you think about Kobe Bryant? Ooh, okay, I like that. Also, appreciate that. That's that. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Much love to you, boy. I appreciate you for coming on and chopping it up with us. So the thing is that I feel like we didn't even really get a chance to see too much of Kobe Bryant because the quarterback ain't really get a chance to, make that many throws in Kobe's direction. So let's look at that first half when Hendon Hooker was out there, he went 7 of 10 for 38 yards. This is the first half of football. I'm gonna say this one more time for the people in the back. He went 7 of 10 for 38 yards. Now he did pull a Chris Brown, T-Pain, and Lil Mama. Shorty got loose. He did pull a Chris Brown, T-Pain, and Lil Mama. Shorty get loose. Let me see what you do. He broke out the pocket. Three attempts for 27 yards. That's something they did do. But I mean, once again, this is something that we have to consider. I don't know if this is a testament to how good the Atlanta Falcons defense was or how shall you say unprepared the Detroit Lions offense was. Ricky Smith says give Lenny a year. Okay. Cellular Lopez says it's the same position Kirk Cousins was in. He do backup quarterback coming in. Okay. Now my friend Tanisha Higgins, she said she's undecided. Shouts out to Chris Breezy. He hear that, he gonna be jealous. Choir member Patterson is in the chat. He said, hey man, stick it out with Young Way Cool. Choir member Patterson, see, look, he trying to come back to Atlanta. Now he come back in the chat. See, y'all see that? You see how they use you? Shouts out to choir member Patterson, man. The Dixon way, he says FTW for the win. See, I didn't know. I got you. Betty. Rick Smith says, they say what? Ryan Johnson says, he put 11 ones. He says, Cool is historically one of the best kickers. And his process setup is second to none. I'm not mad at that. Appreciate y'all for putting the likes in there. It's organic. Says we're at 65 likes. Okay. John Brooks, Ricky Smith. Appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for us. I definitely and greatly appreciate that. Connor B says Cool is done. Bernard says 2. Can't trust. Wait a minute. Did you mean to rhyme that? Did you mean to say 2? Can't trust Cool. Okay. Rick Smith says, let me fill my cup. Hold on. Hey, now, don't be filling it up too much. um, Mix City Masters Productions LLC. Mix City. See, I might need to get with you, because I'm getting ready to put out uh the country. It's a spinoff of the Carter. I'm gonna do the country, and I'm gonna do the country 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hopefully, the country 6 is better than the Carter 6. Anyway, shouts out to you, Mix City Masters Productions. So I don't know if a lot of people in the chat realize this. So since he is an international player, I'm talking about Lenny Legg. He doesn't take up a roster spot. So you could legitimately have both guys on the roster, and it won't affect you because him and Koo play the same position, and if Koo is looking shaky, it's not taking the spot away from somebody else. So shouts out to Terry Fontenot for doing that. JB versus the World says my president is black, young ho Koo. What in the world? Oh man. Rick Smith says, doggone low. He says, I was on my way to fill up my cup, then I had to stop and do a two-step. Goodness gracious. Man. Goodness. So Connor B says, well shoot, I didn't know that. We'll just keep cool then. Exactly. Eugene said the same thing. Oh, you might as well just keep both of them. Just see, a lot of people didn't know that. Yes, since he's an international player, it's one of those cases where he's not taking up a roster spot. So yeah, you might as well just keep both of them. I mean, is that a situation where somebody might get in somebody else's head? It possibly could. It could come back to backfire on you. But there's nothing wrong with having a savings account when it comes to your players, right? So, DeMarco Hellams. DeMarco Hellams. All right, so for the long-time listeners and the long-time coaches on the coaching staff, y'all might remember a few years ago, we created this award, right? And sometimes it has something to do with the things that you do on the field. Sometimes it's the things that you do off the field, right? So DeMarco Hellams inspired me to bring the award back after coming out here and playing the type of ball that he played. So thank you so much, DeMarco Hellams, for inspiring me, for bringing back the Stand on Business Award. Everybody know about everybody know DeMarco Hellams stand on business. So DeMarco Hellams came out here and literally set the tone for the defense today. DeMarco Hellams had a crazy hit. First, if I'm not mistaken, the first play of the game, whenever they threw the ball out into the flat, DeMarco Hellams covered ground like somebody who had gasoline draws on, being chased by a fire-breathing dragon, got to the flat and stopped him in his tracks. Shouts out to DeMarco Hellams for standing on business. So if you're a long-time listener, a long-time watcher of the show, everybody else who just started watching here recently, if y'all remember a couple years ago, King got into it with his daddy, and he said that everybody know I stand on business. So we created an award. Shouts out to DeMarco Hellams for standing on business. Talk about roll tide. That's right. That's right. There, he stood on business. Eugene said yes, he definitely stood on business. Dante Spade, what in the world, Bo? Yes, yeah, you gotta love his energy, man. Gotta love his energy. Hitman Hellams is him. Hellams is him. Yes. The situation is that today multiple people stood on business, right? So we're going to be giving the Stand on Business Award to multiple people. This next gentleman that we're giving the award to, he's actually an NFL vet. A lot of times people think about preseason, they think it's a situation where it's just young Thundercats that's running around out there. that's making plays. But that's not necessarily the case. Shouts out to Josh Woods for standing on business. Everybody know he's standing on business. Josh Woods came out there, forced a fumble. He was everywhere. There was a couple times where he was a couple steps slow. But Josh Woods stood on business today. He was filling gaps. He out there in space. He was a little bit of a liability. But whenever he had a chance to make plays, he made plays. Shouts out to Josh Woods because everybody know he stand on business. Josh Woods is number 42, if y'all don't remember. Tanisha Higgins says, gasoline draws been like that since he was drafted. Hello. You already know. Also, that's that dun-da-da. That's a Superman chat. Yes, I definitely agree with you, Coach. That injury, the crazy thing is he got injured when he made the play of training camp in the bins whenever he cracked. I think it was Ray Edwards. Not Ray Edwards. Ray McLeod. I said crack pause. But fact of the matter is, shouts out to DeMarco Hellams, man. Shouts out to Josh Woods. Yes, Hellams is our version of CJ GJ. All right. Next person stood on business. Brandon Dorlus. Goodness gracious. Man. Brandon Dorlus. Everybody know he's standing on business. Brandon Dorlus came out here and put on a clinic from the defensive tackle position. The hustle was there. One thing that I was worried about whenever Grady Jarrett was leaving, I was worried about our defensive tackles not running up the field like Grady Jarrett did. Brandon Dorlus, he came in, filled that spot very nicely. And, bro, the future is looking bright for him. I know that people were saying that he didn't really know the playbook last year. That's why he didn't get that much playing time. But I tell you one thing, today, August the 8th, 2025, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that young man stood on business. Shouts out to my homeboy, Brandon Dorlus, man. All right. Yes, Dorlus is definitely that dude. Okay. Derek Hughes says Drummond was catching everything. So this award is going to Drummond, Chris Blair, and Nick Nash. Shouts out to them young Thundercats for standing on business. Everybody know they stand on business. Look at here. Chris Blair had a beautiful deep catch and a couple of more catches. Drummond was catching the ball all over the field. They trusted him so much that I think it was third down. They threw the ball to him like 5 yards short, hoping that he would break a tackle and go for that first down yardage. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, but that goes to show how much Easton Stick trusted him. So, he's definitely, you can tell he's definitely been making plays, and he made some plays tonight. Nick Nash was out there running routes beautifully, got open, caught the passes when they came to him. Shouts out to all them young Thundercats standing on business. I love it. Gotta love it. Tony Wright, what in the world, Bo? Hope you're doing good tonight, fam. Much love to you, Bo. Yes. You got to give one to TQ. He got a sack. Once again, I hate to keep going back to the well. Everybody was worried about Grady Jarrett, but Grady Jarrett, he's gone. He's not here anymore. But TaQuan Graham, old Tay-Tay. Old Tay-Tay stood on business today, Dave. Everybody know he's standing on business. Shouts out to TaQuan Graham, making plays, getting in the backfield, staying active feet, active hands. Shouts out to you, Bo. Yes. Look, I'm definitely happy. I'm definitely happy with the way this defense played. Tanisha says you need to put that standing on business in your next song, Big Love. Goodness gracious. Y'all are crazy. We'll work on something. Wait a minute. Derek Hughes said we got to get one to Easton Stick. 15-18, 119 passer rating. You know what? Everybody know he's standing on business. Shouts out to a homeboy, Easton Stick. A lot of people wrote this man off, but in the words of Geno Smith, he didn't write back. So everybody know he's standing on business, and I'm glad that you bring that up because some people at the stadium, guys, I'm just bringing. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not the one that formulated this thought. Some people at the stadium are saying that Kirk Cousins is expendable because Easton Stick played well in this preseason game. So I want to ask y'all what y'all think. Do you feel like it's a situation where Kirk Cousins is expendable after this performance that we've seen from Easton Stick? If you think he is and we're good to trade him, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of them situations where it's like, hey, let's chill out now. Let's calm down a little bit. You know, Kirk Cousins probably the best backup in the league. Put a 2 in the chat because a few people mentioned it, and I was like, hey, I mean, I got to run that one by the coaching staff. I don't know if I can just jump on that train. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk tonight. Once again, I apologize about keeping y'all up so late. I'm so sorry. But I know a lot of people said, hey, we need to go ahead and have the coaches meeting. And I know a lot of people ain't going to work tomorrow because it's Saturday. Now, if you are going to work tomorrow, tell your boss to call me. If you need me to, I'll write you a note. You know, I'll send a note to you. I'll email them and tell them like, hey, they can't make it in, or hey, they might struggle a little bit, but just work with them because we have some important stuff to talk about. Y'all just, so I apologize. I didn't mean to keep y'all up too late, but we come on, y'all. It's emergency coaching staff meeting season. Oh man. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, guys. While y'all putting y'all votes in. Also, need y'all to make sure that y'all hit that like button. You hit that like button for me, I promise you, I'll dance at your wedding one day. Thank you so much. We definitely and greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's see. So I said 1, if you feel like Kirk Cousins is expendable. 2, if you feel like you're saying, hey, you might need to pump your brakes now. It's just one preseason game. It's just one preseason game. And today, we know who the starter is. We know that's Michael Penix. Tony Wright says, look at here now. Easton Stick, he can take off and scramble too now. Look, we seen him move around tonight. He kind of had to. He was running for his life in the first couple of possessions. It's Organic says 2. He says, yeah, hey. Y'all chill out. Y'all chill out now. Y'all getting a little too naked. Derek Hughes, Dante Spade, Cellular Lopez, they feel like Kirk Cousins might be expendable. Feel like he might be trade bait after seeing this game from Easton Stick. Choir member Patterson says, "Look here, y'all chill out now. I'm an old vet myself. Y'all talking about letting people go just because they older. That ain't age. That's wisdom. That's season. Derek Hughes says Kirk can kick rocks. Tanisha, she's a radical. She says 1. Like, hey, he's expendable. Go ahead and move on. Connor, he says 2. Rounds 1 says 2. Got to see more. And look, I completely understand that. Southside Ricky says 2. CJ Hill says 1. He's expendable. Ain't there a movie? I'm gonna have to hit up T Will. He's the movie buff. Ain't there a movie or a show called The Expendables? If I ain't mistaken, I see. I got to tighten up. Aaron Banks says 2. He says, I need to see another game from Stick. Pump the brakes. So Antoine said, pump the brakes, y'all. Man, what was that Stickley used to say back in Nicholas? Y'all young Thundercats. Y'all don't know nothing about that. What did Stickley used to say? Daggum, I forgot what he used to say. I remember I was a kid and I was saying the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna be cool like Stickley. Hold on. What did Stickley used to say? Yeah, see, y'all don't know nothing about Stickley. I was watching Nickelodeon in the 90s. What is it, Simmer Down? I forgot. I don't know. Anyway, JB versus the World says 1. he's good to get ghosts. But let's relax on moving him because of one game. I completely agree. Dree says I'm on the fence. I can't. I don't know which way to go. Ricky Smith says one. He's been expendable. Tag, come. Goodness gracious. Brian Little says he gave me 2 ones. He says one. Is that 2? I don't know, but he put 2 ones. King says off topic. If Browns can't decide on Shador, we can send Kirk Cousins over there and have Shador and Stick on the books. Man, they ain't finna let go of Shador, man. I mean, they might, but I don't know. From what the highlights they were showing at the stadium, Shador he was cooking. I don't know. D-Mac says, Big Low, I was still disappointed in the second and third stringers stopping the run. Yeah, but I mean, but at the end of the day, it's one of them situations where, you know, the deeper you get on the depth chart, the deeper your expectations should be. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think it's a situation where we seen I seen what I felt like I needed to see. I seen more aggressive play, right? We weren't flinching because we were so scared to play defense. We weren't pissing down our leg and slipping in it while we were trying to backpedal. The Tony Wright says breaking from CBS, Detroit Lions safety Maurice Norris is now in stable condition and has feeling in all his extremities. Man, I tell you, God is powerful. God is good all the time, my friend. He is good all the time. I'm definitely glad that young man is okay. Keith No Sweat says 1. He's expendable. Yuri says, I'm fine with Netflix Kirk being the backup. Okay. Derek Hughes says, yeah, D-Mac, they don't look impressive at all. Rick Smith said, look here now, Stick's a veteran. Stick, yeah, that is true. He's been around for a while. He was out there in with the Chargers, what, 3 years or so? He's seen a few pecan seasons. The Falconators in here says, I missed the meet. Gonna have to watch it in the morning, coach. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Bo. Hope you're doing good tonight, my friend. It's organic. Says Stickly is showing our age now. Man, see, Thundercats don't know nothing about Stickly. Ron Johnson says Stick was even better with the Chargers. So we got a deal if he develops and gets confident in his offense. No breaks. We seen him in LA. Well, look, and once again, like he's familiar with Zach Robinson's offense because he ran the same thing in college. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Zach Robinson wanted to bring him in. And, they're going to be running that pistol a little bit more. It showed, per the numbers, the last 3 games of the season, whenever Michael Penix came in, you want somebody who's a little bit more agile. So, look, it's one of them situations where the Easton Stick could be that guy to do it. I was finna say Stickly. Tanisha Higgins says, Stick played behind Herbert, right? He never had time to play. He ready. Yeah. Look, he looked good to me. I mean, early in the game, he missed a couple of throws, but shoot, he looked good to me. Like I said, if that running back would have caught that pass on that wheel route, that would have been another 50 yards right there. B3 says a backup similar to quarterback one's style would be nice. Yeah, I feel like Easton Stick is a little bit more similar to Michael Penix style than Kirk Cousins is. Big 3 says I'm late to the meeting, coach. Nah, bro, you ain't late. You right on time. Right on time. Okay, so this is Stick 7 years. I didn't realize he'd been in the league that long. I thought he'd been in the league 3 or 4 years. Okay. It's organic. It says radio didn't screw up at the half either. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned that it's organic because Easton Stick ran a pretty doggone good 2-minute drill. We got the ball, I think, like 2 minutes and 2 seconds. He completed his first pass, which is the most important thing in that 2-minute drill, just to kind of get the confidence and everything going. And I mean, bro, he took him down the field. I think the third pass is when he took his deep shot. But bro, I'm sitting here thinking whenever he took him down the field like that, I was like, well, daggone, it's one of them situations where maybe we should have ran a little bit of no huddle, but they're trying to get the whole process of calling plays and everything down. But if he run the 2-minute offense like that, shoot, if you ever get stuck in a rut, they just put him in no huddle, coach, and let him run that, let him run that thing. Because I mean, he ran it to, he ran it to perfection. He made the throws that he needed to make, but he ran it to perfection. Raymond Collins in here just laughed. I'm sorry, Raymond Collins. He zipped it. Okay, what in the world, Bo? Yeah. What's going on with you there now? Iron Mike says, what in the world, Bo? What's going on, fam? Connor B also says, this is so off topic, but what are your thoughts on Michael Parsons? Obviously, we don't have the capital for all that. If he leaves, then where is he going to land? So I've heard about a few teams that were kind of interested in him. I know he wants to go to the Commanders, but it's one of them situations where some of the teams that were interested, I think Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. I know the Chargers were interested in him. Who else was interested in him? I want to say the Dolphins. But there was like 5 teams that were interested in him. But you're definitely right. It's one of them situations where I don't think we have the capital to get him. And also, it's like we're hoping that we drafted a guy who could provide um the same type of play that Michael Parsons uh would provide us for a whole lot cheaper, right? Michael Parsons, he's in his prime. He's 26 years old. But look, you got a James Pierce Jr., you got a Jalen Walker. I mean, let's trust our draft process. Let's trust this big splash move that we made. You know, I mean, and look, as we seen tonight, nothing is promised. So let's go with these young Thundercats that we got, and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Chosen London is in here. What's going on, fam? Hope you're doing good tonight. I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for hitting that like button for us, because that means I got a whole bunch of dancing to do. Yeah, because y'all know what I've been saying ever since we started the show. Ever since we've been doing YouTube. If you hit that like button for me, I promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for hitting that like button. We got Coach Lisa Shepard in the house tonight. Much love to you, fam. Hope you're doing good. I didn't get a chance to see you at the game. I hope everything's good with you, Coach Lisa. Tanisha Higgins says it's 139 people in the chat. Y'all show some love, or whether you're a Falcons fan or a Falcons hater. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, Tanisha. Also got A1 Forever in here. He says, rise up. We got a pass rush, man. Yes, we got a pass. Okay, it's organic. Says we got 93 likes. I know I like to finish. I got to get 100. So if y'all ain't hit that like button yet, definitely make sure that you hit that like button for us. But yeah, it's one of them situations where, yeah, man, it's like you got a pass rush. Some people said earlier, A1, they were like, man, we really didn't get a chance to see that much from Billy Bowman. You didn't get a chance to see that much because the pass rush was on fire. The pass rush was getting home. Arnold Ebert, you know what? I apologize, y'all. Where are my manners? Doc, if you see this, please don't beat me up next time you see me. Shouts out to Arnold Ebiketti. Everybody know he's standing on business. Look at here. Arnold Ebiketti was playing like a man possessed. He had his hair on fire. He was getting around the corner, flying all over the place, involved in the run game, active feet, active hands. Shouts out to Arnold Ebiketti. Everybody know he's standing on business. Why, coaching staff, why ain't y'all remind me? Why ain't y'all remind me that Arnold Ebiketti was standing on business? Daggone. Man. Y'all got me slipping out here, man. Ricky Smith says, Lo, we need to see you cut one more time. I be hitting that like button for a few years now. Oh, okay, I got you, Bo. I got you. I got you. Invite me to the wedding or the anniversary party. I come out there. I give you, I give you something. I give you something. What everybody doing? The boots on the ground, or what's that? I can see me sitting in the backseat of a cop car, banging my head on the window. I be out there dead. They can't mess with me. They can't mess with me at all. I be out there doing it, Bo. Ooh, that's when I drink about you. I be out there doing it. Oh man. Ricky said they don't need to play Arnold Ebuketti no more in this Yeah, you might need to sit him down. And we might need to sit him down. Brian Smith says, how we do. I'm glad you answered that question. I want to ask y'all. I mean, we'll go offense and defense. Grade A, B, C, D, or F. What grade will you give the offense tonight as a coaching staff? What are y'all thinking? What grade would you give them? A, B, C, D, or F? Sam Dog, the infamous, says, hey, Lo, hope we could jump on the show soon with you. Me and you could talk some football. Hey, I mean, look, just send me an email, man. Look, I be tied up a whole bunch, but you send me an email. I get Coach Rona to take a look at it, and Coach Rona's the boss. She say jump, I just say hi. Oh man, Choosing London said, "Will there be a Nah, there's not going to be a rematch, man. After what happened tonight, they were, I think they were just good on letting just letting the clock run out. It's not going to be a rematch. So let's see. So I said, what grade are we giving the offense as a coaching staff? A, B, C, D, or F? Rick Smith says offense, D, defense, B. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see old Braylon tries. Tony Wright says B minus. Tanisha says C. Excuse me. Connor says C. He gives them a C. Let's see. Big Three says, even though it seems I have everything, I don't want to be a lonely fool. Y'all know that about all of the women, y'all know about basically what it comes down to. Cause without you, girl, my life is incomplete. Oh. But he says complete. Sorry, incomplete. My apologies. King C says, C for the offense, D for the defense. Well, y'all be following directions. I said, give me a grade for the offense. See, y'all just jumping. See, y'all just jumping in the pool. Y'all just jumping in the pool. I said, give me the grade for the offense. See, y'all, look at you. Y'all just all over the place. Bendy's in here says, hey, Lo, how do you feel about the pass rush? I think the DBs are amazing, especially Hellams and Bowman. Pass rush, the beautiful thing about pass rush, it makes the defensive backs look so much better. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, AJ Terrell, 4 or more interceptions this season. I'm going to go ahead and call it 4 or more interceptions, AJ Terrell. I know a lot of people says, oh, he doesn't get interceptions. He's going to get them this year because he's going to have a pass rush. Poe fella been out there chasing people for his life. Now it's one of them situations where, he's going to get a little bit of help. Ron Johnson says B minus. Okay. Coach Dree says offense C, defense B plus. Okay. I ain't mad at that. All right. So I know a lot of people gave their defensive grades already, but everybody else, what is your defensive grade? A, B, C, D, or F? If you put it in previously, feel free to put it in again. Me myself, as far as the offensive grade, I would give them a B. We started off a little slow, but we really picked it up, especially that Rick Smith, I'm drinking low. All right, Beyonce. Don't be drinking too much now. But that 2 minute drive, that 2 minute drill really gave me a whole lot of confidence. I really feel like we could have put a whole lot more points on the board. We just got to convert. Uh, the the offensive play caller was good. We put people in positions where they could make the plays. To a certain extent, it was the skill level that kind of held them back. Tony Wright says low. If you look really closely at wide receiver Nick Nash, he's a baller, a beast. I see a wide receiver skills, and I see a smoothness, and I see a motion and energy. Nick Nash is going to be something special in the NFL. Stay tuned. I completely agree, my friend. Brian Smith says, y'all see ref almost chalk dude. What in the world? Are you talking about the Norris? We're just glad that he's okay, man. Because yeah, they said it was a pretty rough scene. Falcons for Life says low. Why did offense look so anemic? Is it a schematic issue or is it a talent issue? What's your guess? I think it was a talent thing. I mean, look, we went back and looked at the stats. It was one of them situations where Easton Stick, the quarterback, the first half, he went 15 of 18 for 149 yards. So I mean, look, I can't say it was anemic. I can't say it was anemic. Um, A1 Forever gives them a B plus. Okay, okay. Choir member Patterson and choir member Patterson also said A plus for the offense. He also said sign him again. So look, choir member Patterson, I think your time is come and gone. Zach High says, yo, Low, where's the tailgate at, brother? I needed the 10-1 this year. And man, hit me up. I see what we can do. You know, we be all over the place, but feel free to send me an email. You know, we'll see what we can work out. It depends on what kind of tailgate you're trying to go to. If you're trying to go to the, the more corporate tailgate, or if you're trying to go with your I'm your nasty dancer, dancing for money. I'll do what you want me. It depends on which one you're trying to go to. If you're trying to go in the Home Depot backyard, where we play Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're trying to play that, the most beautiful girl in the world. Like, it depends. Oh man. Oh man. Chill says, I think DeMarco starts. Dang, I don't know if DeMarco gonna start. there you said the hood tailgate. Okay, I hear you. Like I said, man, you got the different ones. That has a definitely not the corporate one. Oh man. Tony Wright says, or if you're trying to go to the bootleg tailgate, exactly. You try to go to the bootleg tailgate, you know, you got the different ones. Jamil said, sing your heart out, Bo. You already know it. You got to, man. Falcons with Life says, low, Easton Stick had no time to throw. You're right, especially the first two possessions. It says, we couldn't get to the red zone until the end of the second half. I mean, what you mean the end of the second quarter? And we couldn't run the ball the first half. Is that not an anemic offense? I don't think the offense was anemic. If you throw for 147 yards, no, you can't run the ball, but the ball is still moving, right? So, I guess it's one of those situations where we've lived through the times with Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota, where we went 8 for 24 for 73 yards. That offense felt anemic to me. But if you throw for 149 yards in the first half, no, you can't run, but the ball is still moving, and you could have moved it a little bit more, if you would have went into no huddle. I don't know if that's anemic. Yeah, I got you, Bo. No problem. I got you. Ricky Smith said, boy, I swear you make me want to break out the speaker. Nah, it ain't me that make you want to break out the speaker, Ricky. It's what's in your cup. That's what that is. Well, look at here, man. It's 12:45 in the morning. I know some of y'all partying. I don't know if some of y'all watching me while y'all at the strip club. Y'all need to pay attention to what you're doing. I don't know what y'all got going on. Some of y'all might be at Reverb, partying out there with Jack Spade, or y'all might be, in Rumors, or you might be at Blue Flame, or I don't know what y'all doing. But at the end of the day, I appreciate y'all for coming on and chopping it up with me. I know a lot of people said they want to do the coaches meeting tonight. I didn't know we were going to be having this good of a time this late at night. But bro, once again, y'all always show up and show out. Shouts out to the coaching staff. Shouts out to everybody that came in here to chop it up with us. Look, y'all, we got a defense. We have a legitimate defense that can get after the quarterback. So it's one of those situations where we're going to have fun watching the defensive side of the ball again, and we're going to see what kind of run we can make. It's going to be fun to see what this defense could do with this offense that has the potential, like our starting quarterback said, to be the best offense in the league. So y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that like button for me. I promise y'all dance at your wedding one day. Also, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and share the channel with your friends and family. If you do all those things, I promise y'all dance at your wedding one day. And look at here, Bo. Y'all have a great weekend. What in the world, Bo?